What's up, everybody? I'm far away from the microphone. I'm setting up. I'll put a timestamp in the comments. But where you should switch to shouldn't be long. Like, Justin's ready to rock this podcast. Two podcast episodes right now. That's a cool. Hello.
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 Don't say "and waiting," Christina. We were waiting for ready from you. And you're obviously not ready.
When I said 5, I am ready. I just don't want to hold you guys up. I'm literally, it's the same thing. I'm just gotta park. I swear
No
on my
problem.
life.
We can wait for you to park.
It's okay. The traffic sucks. Like I tried, so I left right at 5, and it just I don't know what to tell you guys. My drive is shit. Don't work downtown.
Well.
And live in North County.
We'll do the best with what we got.
What? Okay.
Do the best with
is there anything we need to prep while I pull into the
already live and everyone's listening, by the way.
We're synced. Hi, everybody.
I don't know if everybody's out. It is hot as fuck. At least it's not as hot as...
You don't have AC?
AC, we're not...
Yeah,
everybody lives in Carmel Mountain, bro.
We pump that AC in this house.
Yes. Well, we also are like 10 degrees hotter than Point Loma, cool breeze with the windows open. Dylan over there.
Point Loma.
I like how we're basically giving the listeners our freaking addresses right now. Yeah, at least it's a lot cooler than 227 Point Loma, West Point Loma Boulevard. Someone's gonna get serial murdered. Let's give anybody chat yet. One person is. I don't know who they haven't said.
Much snapped.
Sometimes people do that, and that's fine.
Okay.
Hopefully we get a jar.
Yeah, he's fine. Okay, literally last 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Count me down.
That's what I told her. Do you guys have awards prepared? The answers for the award questions?
Oh shit.
Yeah, although one of them came up because of this episode.
Oh! That's me being over dramatic for no reason.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say, Christina, if you don't hurry up, then right here, right now, you are going to face justice!
We lost her. She's gone.
Hello. All right.
Make no mistake, this is very personal. And if you don't think I'll put a bullet in your brain, you don't know me.
You don't know Jack.
Yeah, what if he said, you don't know Jack? Shit. This must be fun for people that are listening on the YouTube channels, getting to all this.
This pre-show banter.
Yeah, this... Me practicing my recreation of that scene for the
That's Dylan's favorite thing to do, pre-show banter.
It's really not my favorite thing to do. I don't know why you'd say that. That's weird.
Alright, are we ready?
Christina Vanderslice, Justin Moreno, and Dylan Chuck are ready. The question is, are you ready?
Yes, you guys don't work down. I should stop saying where I work.
Are you? No, we're not blaming you for having to commute home. We're just.
I feel blamed. I feel terrible. I tried so hard, Justin, just for you. If it was for Dylan, I wouldn't have cared.
And that's not a lie. Like she's not joking. You really wouldn't have. Hurts.
Does it hurt?
Everybody hurts. We're a full 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the stream.
Already?
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, I
Okay,
started it before you
let's do
guys
that. I'm
came on, so
officially-
we were ready, so there was no
I'm
dilly-dallying.
officially.
I was informed
Shut
there
up.
should be
I'm
no
officially
dilly-dallying.
inside. Shut up. I'm inside. Let's go.
Okay. Ready to rock and roll? No muting.
How many eps?
You've seen 100,
24
you've seen
times.
120 episodes of 24, Justin. Right? I'm sorry.
Okay.
You've seen 120 episodes of 24.
120. Okay.
Welcome to the Legacy of 24. I'm Dylan Shuck, and I have seen every single episode of the hit Fox show 24.
And I'm Justin Moreno, and I've seen only 120 episodes of 24.
And I'm Christina Vanisize. I've also seen 120 episodes of 24.
I'm impressed. In this podcast, we're going to be discussing episodes 23 and the season finale of the 5th season of Fox original show 24.
In this podcast, we're discussing all events up to these 2 episodes without spoiling any events from any of the future episodes.
All episodes of 24 are available to stream on Amazon Prime, and we encourage you to watch along.
Big shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you want to be supporters, you can go to patreon.com/watch and talk. Big shout out to our premium supporters, Shakita June, Endless Mike, and Kaka. And a monthly shout out, as always, to Diane and Ashley. So huge shout out to them. So we were, we started about 10 minutes later than we planned today, didn't we?
Rude.
It's because,
Rude.
Christina, you got a job in a certain area, right? And maybe if you knew the
Yes.
right people, you would have had a job in a closer area, right? Do you think?
Yeah, if I could network with people, get to know them, use social media in my benefit,
Or yeah,
I probably could
or if your
get a
social
little
media
closer to
looked
home.
better, you would probably attract more people and gotten a job
Have more
closer.
job offers.
Yeah, and then you would be 10 minutes closer to home to record a podcast 10 minutes earlier than
And
you planned.
always on time.
And, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So, you know what? Just by complete chance, I just thought of something. You could use CoinCrack. With CoinCrack, you could boost your social media presence. All you have to do is go to thewashingtalk.com/CoinCrack, and you can boost your social media presence.
I might have to leave early from tonight so I can get that done.
Let's not do that, though. Anyway, yeah, check them out. So, yeah, shout out to that. How we doing, people?
Pretty good.
Before we
Life or 24?
either.
Well, live for sure.
I never know. I know we've talked about this before, but I never know.
You never know how your life is going.
Life. No, I just never know what you mean. I don't know if you mean how are you doing in relationship to the world of 24?
How are you doing
How-
in your relationship?
How are you doing
life?
in relationship to the whole wide world with 24? Life? What'd you say?
First of all, so far your connection has been spotty at best.
Oh
Spotty
gosh, I don't
at
think I should do
best.
this anymore. I quit.
No,
I quit.
it's okay. I'm just saying that
I have 3 bars. I don't know what to tell
I got
you.
the bars. I got the bars. Okay, so how are you doing in your relationship life right now, Christina? See anybody, anything? How's that going with you?
This is weird. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Are you curious about this too,
Life's
Justin?
good.
I think the listeners at home have been writing in a lot about this.
All
I've
right,
been,
moving on.
I've been
24
curious
has
about
been-
this for the last 120 episodes.
She
24.
is
Murder you.
not something that Christina
Oh.
discusses very often, but let's get to the bottom of this right now. Actually, before we talk
Anyways.
about anything else, I do want to give another shout out to my new podcast for The Deuce on HBO, and that's called The Deuce Drop. If that's a show you're checking out, it's a very interesting show. I think Justin can attest to that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Were you into it?
I'm
way too early.
into it. I'll watch the next episode.
Way too early to judge, right? It's just interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Christina would like it because Christina's a little wholesome, little apple pie. So I don't
A
know.
little too
I don't know
wholesome.
if you'd like the Deuce to be dropped on you, but if anybody else.
No, I would not.
Check out the Deuce Drop, and you can search for that. You can go to thewatchandtalk.com and click the podcast tab at the top. All the different show podcasts that I work on, you can see there. Anyway, real quick though, I'll actually take a timestamp real quick. Do you are you connected to your Wi-Fi network right now, Christina? I think this is.
She's gone.
Yeah, I think this is a good.
All right, sorry. No. Someone was trying to call me, so I had to wait till that was done before I could press anything. Yeah, I'm on my Wi-Fi. Do it.
Yeah, perhaps you should disconnect from your Wi-Fi
Disconnect?
network.
Perhaps you should disconnect.
Perhaps.
We're just trying to help you.
I'm not on that 5G. Do you want me to get on that 5G?
5G? You're in another generation?
You're not even
I
in
know.
the real
Is that
world.
better?
Long-term
Okay,
evolution.
tell me how this sounds. I got on the 5G first, and then if you'd rather me do no Wi-Fi, I can.
Let's try the 5G, and then we'll go from there. And I'll tell you.
Okay, sounds good.
So
and
far,
I'll stay very still.
Like, honestly, like, so beautiful. Like that, it almost brings a tear to my eyes.
Oh gosh, let's get going. Timestamp this BS.
I already did. All right, so guys, we're gonna talk about the season as a whole. So let's save all that kind of conversation for the end, because now we have finally completed my favorite season of television ever. I also think that this is the best finale that 24's ever had.
Yes, I would agree with that statement.
I was afraid Justin would come out and be like, "Oh no, I prefer."
The finale was the best part of what we watched for sure.
Did you think the episode before it was not good?
I thought it was good. I thought it was
for
good.
the people that viewed this live. This was both episodes were the finale, because we watched these episodes together. They aired together in the same night. So we watched them together, and we got drunk. I remember this being quite a party. Everybody I knew that watched 24, which was like 8 people, we all got together and watched this, and we were cheering, and it was like watching a sporting event. Like was
it all the people in your top 8 during that time?
One of the football games at the kids are watching these days. It was kind of like that. Like, you've had people over to watch Game of Thrones, obviously, right? You've watched Game of Thrones with people, either of you guys?
Yeah.
And you know how you get to the cheers and all that kind of stuff. This finale was so full of those, it was insane. It was a lot of fun to watch this with them.
Thanks for the invite.
So, I'm sorry I didn't invite you, but you were about 8 years away from being born.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anyway, Christina, what about you? All right, so I don't think the 5G is really working out. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't think the 5G is working out.
5G's not working out. Going out on a limb saying the 5G's not working out.
Definitely going to need... maybe you've hit mute. I don't think your 5G could be that low of Gs. Ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, this is how the sausage is made. I don't know if you've ever heard me say that on the podcast.
I'm so sorry. I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry. I was like, you can't hear me? Hello?
Did you have it on mute?
Yeah. So, anyways,
no, was that what the problem was, or should we switch off?
Yes, okay. Yes, I'm an idiot. Yeah. That is the problem.
So, sorry if we were ignoring you for a long time, but you weren't. Anyway. Yeah.
No, you weren't ignoring me.
Did you say anything? Did you say anything when we were talking about the party? How we watching us like?
No, I chuckled at the Justin not being born joke, and that's it. That's all.
What about you, Christina? What about your experience with this finale? I want to call the finale both episodes together, if you guys don't mind.
Right. No, not at all. I don't mind that. I thought the finale was good. I felt like the pace was good. I felt like a lot happened in like 2 episodes. Like I didn't know how it was all going to get wrapped up that quickly, and I feel like they wrapped it up really good. The very, very, very ending, obviously, I don't know if I'm really interested in this storyline with the whole... I don't want to know if we want to jump that far ahead. No, well,
we can go overarching a little bit for right now.
We can just jump, yeah.
We'll make our predictions for the predictions. Every season we do a prediction. We do a preview episode for the next season, and like a whole look back at season 5 that will be coming out later in the week too. For those of you guys listening on YouTube, you'll hear that tonight. But anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm down for this new storyline. I don't know if they're going to follow season 6 with this whole Chinese consulate thing, if that's going to be the story, but not that interesting to me. So that kind of...
You guys didn't see it coming. I tried.
No,
I did not see it coming.
Last week, guys, I gave you over and over and over again. I was trying to see if you guys had any inkling that Chinese... I don't know if you guys remember me saying, would you have any idea where... This is how... Remember, I was like, this is how this season ended.
You kept trying to get us to guess what was going to happen.
I wanted to see if you guys had an idea that China would possibly...
As soon as they said Kim was on the phone, and then Jack walks into this weird warehouse with like a creepy little that just was weird.
Also, it wasn't.
As soon as that happened, I was
not to be racist, but it was an Asian gentleman that came and told him that there's a call coming in.
True.
That obviously wouldn't have cued you in at the time. You're not like, wait, it's an Asian person, don't trust them. But it was obviously that was probably
depends who you ask though, honestly.
But
maybe some people would.
I do have to say the conversation that he has with him, and obviously jumping ahead, but he said, "You should be aware, Mr. Bauer, China has a long memory. 18 months ago, you invaded our territory and killed our consulate. Did you really think that we would forget?" Not only was this talking to Jack Bauer, I feel like this was talking to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I must say,
Oh, like don't think that we're just gonna pass it up.
yeah,
It's no
like
big
you
deal.
guys thought that China
Okay.
had forgotten, right? Like, guys,
Not really. I just thought we
you-
weren't gonna have to go.
you guys
there.
had,
Yeah,
you
same.
like, look,
literally.
last time you guys talked about China was probably like 4 episodes in, and I was like gonna keep tallies of every time you guys mentioned China, because this is one thing I was really paying attention to this whole season, and not this is nothing against you guys. I wanted to see how the general public was really thinking about it. Now, at the time on forums and stuff like that, people were discussing it. People were saying, "What's up with China? When's China going to come into play?" Because we did know that he had to fake his death because of China, and obviously it felt like that was going to come back and bite. And remember, he did have the conversation saying, after he exposed Walt Cummings, he said, "Mr. President, if you don't mind, I do need to go back into hiding. My daughter doesn't know that I exist or that I'm alive, and China's still looking for me." And he was like, "No, I need
guess
your help."
My problem, I want to save it for later, but I have some problems with it. But let's jump in.
Okay.
Let's jump
jump
deep.
right
let's
in.
just it looks deep enough from
Both
here. I'm
feet
diving.
first.
Episode 523 aired on May 22nd, 2006. It's from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Jack has a broken rib, guys. This entire time. So that must have really hurt when he was getting that beating at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm. We'll get back to that.
Okay. Thought. This came to my mind for the first time at the beginning of this episode. Remember how Henderson wanted to save that recording as his insurance plan? In case, just to make sure that he didn't catch an untimely bullet from Graham and those folks. Why didn't he already have an insurance plan? Why did he happen to be like, this recording from Evelyn Martin, I'm going to use that to keep myself alive? Why hadn't he already gotten an insurance plan before that?
Well, maybe because he didn't think the president was going to be so damn shady with all the stuff going down.
Well, how about this? When he got, after he, when he was going for that, as soon as he lost the file or whatever, I feel like he should have called the president and recorded it and said,
"Oh yeah,"
right, or something like that, and then got another insurance plan. But I mean, I wasn't really thinking about it at the time, so maybe the situation wouldn't have arisen. But I think that he should have previously already had something. I think it would have made a lot more sense if Henderson had an insurance policy that instead of Evelyn Martin recording it, that Henderson had an insurance policy that somehow Jack found out about and got his hands on, instead of Evelyn Martin recording it.
Interesting.
But I still don't know how Evelyn Martin recorded that in the first place.
Yeah, how come she was the one?
Yeah, how did she
get
a hold of it? But then again, Evelyn Martin was really close, obviously, to the chief of staff of the First Lady. The First Lady was very good friends with David Palmer. There was recordings of going on.
It's like 6 degrees of separation, yeah.
Right. So, anyway, Bierko vents that sub in 2 minutes. And there's something else that happens.
I thought for sure was going to eat some yogurt.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was going to be like, "Oh, take your mask off." Oh, wait.
There's something else that vents in about 2 minutes at the beginning of the next episode too, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. Did not last very long for the gas in this episode, and then at the beginning, something else didn't last very long too. Anyway, Audrey tells the admirable about the admirable. The admirable
That was such a nice laugh.
The admirable admiral.
About the sub. 25 minutes to take the sub. 25 minutes? That's not going to work, admirable. Because by our projections, they're going to be ready to launch in 20 minutes, of course. So I guess it's going to be up to your ground teams to stop it. So it's up to Jack Bauer. What do you guys think about Henderson arguing his way into getting a gun?
I thought it was fair. Believable.
Ditto. You can't be going into a combat with no weapon.
I agree, but I don't agree with him giving it to him and then walking in front of him. I would be like, "You're in front of me the entire time."
Yeah.
And he gives him the gun and immediately walks in front of him. Yes. Yeah. Now, as it turns out, things are different than we appeared, but I think that would have been better for us as at least as viewers. Or I think that should have cued off Henderson a little bit, right? Because Henderson is such a smart guy. But now looking back, has Henderson not been one of the best villains in the show? He's
a good character throughout.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites. Yeah. Also, one of the best villains that actually was a good actor.
Yep.
A lot of these villains have been really poor. That's probably why they're not that great at villains, because they're kind of poor actors. Sorry to be rude.
No, Steven Saunders was a shitty villain, right?
Yeah.
Even the villain from Saw. Jigsaw from the Saw movies, who was the bad guy in season 2. he's a fine actor, but he wasn't that great of a villain. You know, we didn't.
What about Beruse's dad? What was Beruse's dad's name?
Bruce, whatever, Bruce's dad, I think it was his name, and not even his dad, but Habib Marwan. Like,
Yeah.
these guys were fine, sure, but they were a lot of times shown to be incompetent. Was Henderson? Maybe Henderson made some mistakes, but he was never, ever, ever. He's the only villain that's never been shown to be incompetent, ever.
Right.
Which I gotta give him credit for. And like you said, fantastic actor. Actor played RoboCop. Actually, I ended up playing a really great villain on the show, and there's something to be said for that. Even though he's still alive as of where we are, but we're already saying our eulogies for this this villain. Anyway, so Henderson notices a signal that a friendly gives, and I guess he's this kid named Rooney. He's stuck in an airtight room. Chloe patches him through to Jack, and Jack plans with him to get so they can let them in, and he has to kill a guard. And he's like, he's afraid.
Oh, sorry.
He's afraid. He's an engineer. He's not trained for combat. But we'll get to what you're about to say in a second, Christina, because we skipped away for a second because Logan's stressing about stopping the missiles, and Martha's talking to Pierce about waiting to get Mike alone. So that's something that's kind of pending because they are really working on this plan right now. Okay. So.
Oh, I was just gonna make. Oh, I thought.
We're gonna talk about Rooney.
I thought that was the okay. No, that was the okay to open it up for conversation.
About Rooney.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say if I called him petty officer like one more time, I was gonna poke my eyes out. How many times was I gonna say petty officer? Petty officer. I'm gonna patch their petty officer.
Christina,
Rooney. Petty officer.
Christina, I would hope you not poke your eyes out because you have beautiful, wonderful eyes.
You're so dumb. Did that not annoy you guys?
I didn't notice it.
You didn't notice her eyes? You've
like
never noticed
20
Christina's eyes? Like, are you serious?
No, I've never. And when I look at her, I don't look at her eyes.
Whoa! That I don't.
Anyways.
Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Well, that
I was talking about the center of her face. That's where people look when you look at
yeah,
somebody.
you don't
like,
look
make
at
sure you're
people
not
in the
nervous.
eyes, right? Okay. Anyway, Christina, you made this podcast weird. Continue what you were saying.
Oh yeah, it was me. Petty officer. It just annoyed me. That's all.
Did you,
It was like drove me nuts. I don't know why. I was like, how many times do they have to say that?
How many times Jack called him son?
Yeah.
Right, he called him son.
Weird. It was a
many
weird
times.
dynamic.
Okay, so
Nice.
Rooney gets a visual of the hostel, and Jack said in this like deep grungy voice, "Are you left-handed or right-handed?" And he's like, "Right-handed." I need you to sneak up behind him. When you're 18 inches away, I want you to take your left hand, put it over his mouth, put his head back into your chest, exposing his neck. Then I want you to take your right hand and slit his throat. That was I was sitting there just be like, damn.
I knew you were gonna love that.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was all Dylan all day.
Justin. Was that not how he explains which hand to use and put it into your chest and then slit it? How he has all these like.
Didn't he say something right after too? Like you gotta do it deep or something?
Hold on. He has all these detailed. He's like 18 inches away. Take your left hand, put it over his mouth. Put his head back into your chest, exposing his neck. Then take your right hand, and then after all these detailed information, then all of a sudden this quick slit his throat. And then the guy goes, "Oh my God!" And Christina, you're right. He says you need to cut deep to sever the vocal cords and the carotid artery. And the horror on poor Rooney's face.
You're right. I mean, he just had never even thought he was going to be murdering anybody ever because he's an engineer. So, no, it's dope, cool scene. I hope that if I'm ever in a situation where I need to cut someone's throat open, that somebody can walk me through it just like that because I don't know.
Don't you think Jack like said the right things to get him to do what he had to do? I know I'm always talking about
of course. Jack
that.
always says
Of
the
course,
right
of course.
things.
But it's funny that he's like, I don't know if I can do this, and he's like, you don't have a choice, son.
Yeah.
After this is like his third time calling him son, but it's true. He's like, I for some reason Jack doesn't say if you don't do this you're gonna die and thousands of people are gonna die. He just says you don't have a choice. You have to do this. It's like there's no decision to be made here. You got to go do this now. And
yeah, I thought it would have made it a little bit more interesting if he didn't do it, like how they would have navigated that situation. But
then he looks at a fallen friend.
But gotta wrap it up.
Rooney looks at a fallen friend and says, "Okay, I can do this." And he says, you need to cut him deep and you need to cut him fast. And, okay, so he sneaks up on him. The fucking idiot just staring at a wall, like of course. And also, when you're walking on metal grates like that, I think that it would be hard to do that without sound being made, but fine.
Yeah, doing it softly. Yeah.
And it doesn't go as planned. It was pretty intense, though, right?
It was intense.
How did it?
You weren't sure what was going to
How
happen.
did it go? Because he didn't slit his throat.
Just putting stabs into his chest or something.
Stabbing him in the throat like 5 times. Because
was in the throat.
The guy was stopping him, and he like pushed back, and they were passing back, and all of a sudden, before you know, like a really gnarly 5-time stabbing. I remember us all cheersing at that moment, being like, "Oh!" But there's a ton of kills like that. A lot of times when we get into these big situations where there's a bunch of terrorists, there's just guns firing and terrorists falling over in the background, and it's like, who gives a shit? And that happens once or twice in this submarine, but there's so many kills that are like, right? Like, you guys know what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%.
Like, this is one of them.
Yeah, like the Jack one?
Yes.
Are we gonna get there?
So,
that was crazy.
Jack Henderson.
Does that really happen in real life?
Jack Henderson and a named redcoat named Agent McCullough joins them, and they come in, Jack takes out a target on the top. Right, I still can't get over the fact that he said to the submarine commander at the beginning of the last episode, or the end of the last episode, "There are hostiles on your way. You need to secure your vessel." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go check up top." And he goes and puts his fucking dome outside,
his little gun.
like he's like a Papa Weasel like machine that's just waiting to get popped. Anyway, so when he gets in there, Jack doesn't say "good job" to Rooney.
He did his job. He doesn't need a good job. There are no 2 words in the English language. You know that scene from Whiplash?
Yeah.
No?
They're more
I love
than
Whiplash.
good
Movie.
So anyway, then he sends him to go make a diversion, says not to engage them. Do you understand me, son? It's just like, dude, I'm an adult. First of all, Mr. Jack Bauer. But he says not to engage them because he wants the kill cred. He wants those kill counts.
That's right. He's trying to get that count
He's
up.
trying to get the count up. But so anyway, he does it, and Bierko takes the bait with 2 other guys. And I like how Jack uses his mirror, and he spots the guy arming the missiles. The guy that was that worked for CTU for however long, that was working in the fucking van, so stupid. And then McCullough
Got through the background check.
McCullough holds the mirror while Jack crawls up and waits for the guy to walk by. Jack can spy. Jack couldn't do this job without the good vision that he has.
Oh god.
Obviously, right? Anyways,
Obviously.
so when the guy finally walks by, Jack pops up and he almost has pleasure in his eyes while he's stabbing the dude in the head from the bottom. And while he's basically cutting the dude's throat out. And while he's saying it, he says nothing to the guy. He says, "We're all clear." While the guy's like having his last moments of life. I love that. I love that moment. And that was another cheers. Because when we watched this, we had our Jack Bauer drinks, which was a Jack and Coke with a lime. The lime was the surprise twist.
Oh gosh, that is so cute.
Come on, I knew you guys liked that. I was hoping that Justin wouldn't be like, "That's lame. Go away, Mom. Get out of my room."
Oh no, dude.
No, Justin loves punny
just
stuff.
cheesy. Yeah, that's just punny enough for me to love it.
Anyway, so Henderson stays and disarms the missiles, and Jack and named Redcoat McCullough go after Bierko. And of course McCullough's killed immediately, but then Jack avenges him, and that's the only lame kill that happens on this entire submarine. And then Lone Wolf Jack gets his gun knocked away, and he uses the hostile's gun to shoot a hot pipe and then grills the dude's face on it, which is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
But I also thought that I mean that obviously killed him because we never revisit that guy again. He just is dead, I guess. And then he grabs some pipes on the roof right while Henderson's disarming the missiles, wraps his legs around Bierko and just snaps his neck. Oh wait, first of all, Bierko cracks Jack in the dome with a huge wrench twice.
Yeah.
Jack didn't give a
Yeah, and
Jack
he like
didn't-
hardly got stunned.
Yeah, Jack didn't give a fuck. Like that's like something you'd see like what happened to The Rock in the Fast and the Furious. Like
Oh, I thought you were gonna say in WWE.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
I think
That's the
when The
same
Rock
thing,
was
right?
in
That's-
it
that's
was
a
still
kid.
WWF. By the way.
Yeah.
This is true. Excuse me.
I
The fact that
thought
I even know that much.
Fast and Furious is a continuation story of WWF, is it not?
I believe it is. But yeah, then he snaps Bjerko's neck. What do you think about Bjerko falling on his knees first and then falling over? That's kind of a cool effect, I guess. I don't know. I could also see one of you guys really not liking Bjerko's death.
Yeah, I mean, like I just thought for like such an important villain, it was like rather anticlimactic the way he died. So,
well, this guy we never saw this guy engage with anybody, so we didn't know how capable of a fighter he was, right? Like,
right.
He was just like, "You're so wrong."
But you figure that like if somebody who can lead this kind of anarchy would probably be a capable fighter as well. I don't know, but
I still think it's really there was probably one of the stupidest parts of the season with having him escape.
Yeah, it was fine enough.
Although I really loved the submarine thing, and I loved the showdown with Henderson at the end that we're going to get to in just a second. I just wish it happened differently, I guess. I wish instead of catching Bjerko, that Bjerko slid away. And then they're like, well, we don't... so Bjerko gets away, which would go... God, he keeps getting away. This is stupid. But he's not a threat anymore because all the nerve gas canisters are gone. And then we don't, like... Maybe we hear that he's left the country. And we're like, he got away,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I guess the only problem would be, like, then that now, like, all, like, 3 different villains would still be around. Like, the Chinese people would still be there, Bjerko would still be there, and the other guys that Logan was talking to all day are still around,
Henderson.
aren't they? And Henderson,
yeah. So, I don't know. But here, let me just maybe this wouldn't have worked, but just spitballing here. Maybe during that explosion, Bjerko gets away, and then you see that he said, "We lost our canisters. Let's leave the country." And you see like they get word, "Hey, he's left the country. He's gone off. There's nothing we can do. He's gone." And then Jack's like, "All right, well, he's gone, but there's no more threat because the canisters are gone." Now we kind of got to get on this, and then all of a sudden they find out about Logan, they get distracted, and then out of nowhere Bjerko comes in the second to last episode, and he has 1 extra canister, and he was deceiving them by thinking that the country. Which this is a little stupid. What I'm saying is a little stupid, but I think it is about half as stupid as him getting broken out of CTU like he did, right? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Sure,
okay.
Yes, 100% correct. But
I was just
still a little out there though.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, no, you really thought about that.
Like, while I'm thinking about this, another professional writer in the room could be like, or like what you're saying, but we could also do this and make it a little better. And then another writer goes, and also just to smooth around the edges right there. They could have, I think that a team of writers would have. But I think it goes like that sometimes, guys. I think that's why it's called a writer's room, not a writer's closet or a writer's cell, or a writer's bed.
Nice.
Anyway, so he stops neck, and then Henderson stops the launch. So Henderson's the hero. And then Jack goes to meet him, but he's gone. And what does he say as soon as he knows that Henderson's gone?
Take me off the little walkie-talkie.
Yeah, take me off the walkie.
Hey, guys, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Take me off comm. No problem, Jack. And he looks for Henderson, climbs out and goes after him, but Henderson shows up behind him. Henderson got the drop on him. Were you like, he got the drop on him. What's going to happen? Right?
I thought it was a good little... Because it's true, like how he's like, Jack, you were never going to let me go, were you? And so it's like, okay, this guy is, like, that's how well he knows the whole situation.
He would have.
So I thought that was good.
He would have, though. He would have. He let Nina Myers go.
You think so? Sorry.
He let Nina Myers go. He let Nina Myers go.
I think he learned,
twice.
but I think he learned his lesson there. Look,
no, I don't think he would have let him go.
I think he 100% would have let him go.
Definitely different.
This is different, but
Jack's definitely different than Jack during Nina Myers' time.
Okay, yes, it is a different Jack. But here's again, the show didn't want to show Jack killing him in cold blood, so they made him try to get the jump on him and try to turn on Jack. So the show never gave us that chance. They made it easy for us to not think that Jack was being that vicious.
Oh, if they thought that Jack isn't vicious, I think Jack is being vicious.
No, but
about a lot of things.
What if Henderson came out and was like, "All right, Jack, deal's a deal, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, a deal's a deal," and then puts the gun in his face and shoots him in the face.
Well,
would we have agreed with Jack at that point?
Character, yes, I would have, because I wouldn't have wanted Palmer to die, so I would feel Jack's pain and anger.
I felt like the writers did not want to show Jack as being that.
Oh yeah, not to the general public, right. But low key, like that's how I think Jack's turning into this like kind of vicious.
I'll say this
like
too.
He's just not the same.
That's at least some breadcrumbs, but in the future you may see Jack do something that brutal at some point in the series.
Yeah, I believe it.
Jack,
I can see it in him. He gets too much.
I'll tell you, Jack only gets darker.
Oh, I believe
Jack
it.
only gets darker. He does not ever lighten up. He only gets darker and darker. Like, you think that we've seen Jack at his darkest so far, right? By far in this season, right?
Well, so far, yeah.
He does get darker, guys. He does get darker.
I believe it. I can see it in his eyes, like when he snapped Homeboy's neck,
or
like
when he stabbed the dude. Yeah, when he stabbed the guy in the throat.
Stabbing him, yeah, it's like he's getting joy from like, and then he kills Henderson, and then he's like, you know what? He tried to come, shoot me or whatever. I had to kill him. He just
lied.
It so nonchalant.
Just bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But he lied about Nina Myers
Yeah.
too. Well, he didn't lie about Nina Myers. Just like same thing to do with Nina Myers. She was reaching for the gun, and then he killed her. So they didn't want to show. They don't want to show Jack being a cold-blooded murderer. They want to give some kind of out for the audience at this point, at least. I do have some questions, but let's go over this whole event. He says he comes up behind him and says, "You never really gonna let me go, were you?" And he says, "No." And then Henderson pulls the trigger. So Jack had given him an empty gun. Perhaps surprising he never checked, but either way.
I know, and that he never had to shoot it. I really didn't think about it.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize that Jack had given him an empty gun. I thought it was just he had shot bullets during the crossfire.
No, because then
that makes it a little more.
Henderson knows it's over, and he gives a smile. Remember, he's his mentor also, and
I know. I thought that was such a good moment.
Yeah,
oh.
I thought it was one of my favorite moments of the finale, because he gives him a smile and he says, "Good for you, Jack.
Yeah.
Good for you." Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
I think that was a moment too. Henderson also knowing, you know what, things got out of hand. I'm not the good guy in this situation, and you know what, I trained you. I trained you, and you know what, I trained you to be better than me. So that says something about me too. And good for you, Jack. And then he says,
I thought that was a great.
I completely agree with you. It sounds like Christina's almost emotional about this sequence. Almost.
No. No, I just thought it was like such a nice touch. Because it is true. It's like, then it makes you think, oh my gosh, he did train them. Like, this is at one point, was probably his mentor. It just shows, like, this whole time, this guy has been kind of outsmarting Jack a little bit. And so it's nice to see that at the end of the day, Jack still is better than him. I think they need to show that Jack's a better person in this guy.
He didn't make, like I said, he was never shown to be incompetent, but he made mistakes. Same thing as Jack. Jack's never, ever shown to be incompetent, but he makes mistakes. Same thing with Henderson. And then he says, "You're responsible for the deaths of David Palmer, Tony Almeida, and Michelle Desler. They were friends of mine." And he goes, "That's the way it works." Bam, bam. I really wish he gave him way more shot on the ground, too. But, it's not the end of the world. Couple things. I never truly understood him saying, "That's the way it works." I never really understood that line.
Yeah.
I think it's the only detraction from the whole... It's not a detraction. It's just a neutral comment. From the whole fantastic interaction from, "You were never going to let me go," no, pulls the trigger, gives a smile, "Good for you, Jack. You're responsible for the death." And then that's the way it works. It's like, the way it works is I kill friends of yours?
I mean, he could have said something worse. He could have said, that's the way the cookie crumbles," or something worse. So I actually didn't hate it.
I mean, it's like, I don't know what I would rather have him said.
Right.
Or what he was saying, "Just doing my job." Something like that.
Yeah, I guess that'd be better. But
I was doing my job.
I mean, really though, like if in a parallel universe you have to come back and you hear that there's somebody in Hollywood writing the show that takes place every 24 hours, like, you'll know that you're the guy to write that show. So, like, I hope that happens for you in your next life.
Wouldn't it be in this current life?
No, next life.
Parallel universe, I think is
parallel universe, maybe next life. I don't know. Could be different. No, it wouldn't be this current life. Even if it's whether it's a parallel universe or your next life, it wouldn't be.
Christina,
this
what's
life.
the backstory for my parallel universe?
What's
the backstory for my parallel universe?
You can't have this current life in a parallel universe because then it'd be that life.
That's because you haven't watched Lost, so you don't know.
Oh, speaking of which, we're totally doing a Lost one as soon as this podcast is over.
I don't know.
We're totally doing Lost. We're totally doing Lost. Okay.
Okay, look, as much as Justin shitted on your favorite show, I don't know if I could take that.
I don't think he would shit on it as much.
I would be like,
I don't think Lost comes off as cheesy as 24 does, especially in the beginning. Like, Lost is pretty cinematic from the beginning, and also Lost started like 5 years after 24 did. So
right. So it's like right here in 24.
Lost right now looks cinematic, and 24 didn't start looking cinematic until, I would say, season 4 when they switched to HD.
Right.
Anyway, okay, a couple things. Also, I think this is one of the best deaths. I mean, really, I prefer Nina Meyer's death over this. I think that one more shot on the ground would have been a really nice touch. I also don't think I don't think them showing him on the ground dead with blood by his mouth was necessary. But they also had this really great shot, this wide shot of him on the submarine turning around and walking away from his dead body, which looked really like a Western. Like it was a really great look. I do not understand Petty Officer Rooney coming out and witnessing that. I wonder
that was like,
what they wanted, because
whatever.
that didn't have any consequences. That did nothing. We'll never hear from Rooney again. That's never part of anything. I don't get that. But
maybe they just wanted to leave a story open for like them to play with that idea. Play with the idea. You
what
know?
if he became the spinoff Jack Bauer? Anyway, I have to say, great shot, great scene, great submarine set. That set was I think that was really just a great set. It looked good. Thought it was pretty good for a finale. I think they did a really good job shooting that whole sequence. We only actually spent about 20 minutes with the submarine in general, but it feels like longer.
It does feel like longer.
So Jack gets a vehicle when the cops arrive. He tells CTU Henderson's fired on him. He had to drop him. He's a fucking liar. And then he says, well, he's not really a liar. He did fire on him, but he just didn't have bullets on his gun. Then he says he's on his way to CTU. He's a fucking liar. Chloe, Navy needs our logs. Can you pick up? Because he's a fucking liar. And then she picks up. She's like, yeah, what do they need? She's like, they don't. Can you get somewhere no one can hear you? Is this not like when you guys are like, oh, yes, now we're back to where we want to be, right? And he's going after Logan. He needs some modified field equipment, communication equipment. It's not her area of expertise, but she knows somebody that can. Palmer's casket's about to be flown out of L.A., and it's almost sunup. Logan informs Graham that Henderson is dead and Bauer will be taken care of. This is the last we hear from Graham for the rest of the season. Nothing happened to him. What is Logan's plan?
Logan's plan.
He said Bauer will be taken care of.
Like what was his plan? Probably just to get him arrested.
Maybe he was in
tortured.
cahoots. Maybe he's in cahoots with the Chinese.
That's the exact answer. That's what happened. That was, his plan is that he contacted the Chinese.
Because realistically, otherwise, like, but like you gotta think about,
Yep.
Well, because you gotta think about like over a 24-hour period for Jack to come out of hiding, and then the Chinese to get there to where they're at. Or,
at least him, right? At least Chang.
Like,
that guy's name is Chang.
Okay, whatever. The Chinese.
No,
is that? Am I being racist?
No, I'm backing you up. I'm saying there's a Chinese consulate still in L.A.
In that case.
But I'm agreeing with you. It would take 24 hours at least for Chang to get there, because who knows where he was.
unless he was at the the place where
consulate.
Unless he was there.
Whatever.
But yeah, it looked like he had a boat. I don't think he took that boat there to get to them, because it would probably take more than 24 hours. So yeah,
that's why it went over my head. How stupid!
That went over a lot of people's heads, but because then you're thinking, because otherwise, what was his freaking plan? He had no plan. Like, his plan was waiting for the Chinese to swoop up Jack, and that will be the end of it. That's a great plan. That's a great plan.
That is a really good plan.
When you think about, hey, Jack gets the last laugh for Logan. Logan gets the last laugh for Jack. Kind of fucked up. Anyway.
Checkmate, huh?
Yeah, it's like they both they both thought each other. Or they both made each other's lives significantly less good, if you ask me. Anyway, like I said, Palmer's casket is, and I think we give this really good send off to Palmer as we go along. We'll talk about that as we kind of go on this episode. Logan and I'm sorry, I already said this. Martha finds Mike. She come with me, please. He thinks she's being crazy. She's like, I've never been more sober or more sane. Nah, you've been more sober, because again, you took a pill like 4 hours ago. Maybe that wore off. You were drinking with wine.
Down in those bottles of wine.
Like a bottle of wine. So yeah, you probably sobered up, but you've been more sober. So you're a liar, first of all. So you need to be in jail.
A lot of liars in this episode.
You need to be in jail. But anyway, he said, she's like, please come with me, and he's like, I don't know, but then whatever. And he goes and she takes him to Pierce, who's a bloody mess. It's like, what's happened to you? And he's like, Agent Adams tried to kill me, and on the president's orders. And then he shows him Adams' body, and they tell Mike everything, including Cummington commit suicide. Plot hole, big plot hole. What did Adams seem like to Palmer? Not to Palmer, but to Logan. seemed like his security, like his go-to guy for Secret Service, right?
I don't think I picked up on that.
Yeah, so he never came back.
Spaghetti-O, stop talking. Wait for a second. Wait.
Dude.
Yuck. That sounded gross. Testing. Talk. Everybody talk.
I'm good. Christina's the one who's bad.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. Christina.
Screw you.
It was awful. It was awful for a second. So anyway, I took a timestamp.
Whatever. We've been doing good.
We're doing fine. I just wanted to stop you when you're talking and go back to it. Don't take.
I'm saying it to Justin because Justin said I'm awful.
No, your sound just got bad for a second. Anyway, you can respond to what I said about Agent Adams.
Justin said he didn't catch that, but what I think is like, yeah, why wouldn't you be wondering where your homeboy was at?
Why isn't he wondering where Agent Adams is? Because Agent Adams said he was going to go take care of Pierce. So maybe he thought, hey, he's going to go take care of Pierce off-site, go deal with this for a couple hours. So actually, now that I kind of talked about it, maybe he thought Agent Adams was...
Not such a big problem.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe. Because, again, this has only been 3 hours. So he was probably, hey, I'll take care of this. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. It is 4 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, I think we just talked our way through that. Anyway, he shows him Adam's body. And and then he explains the recording and that's why they wanted to shoot Jack down and everything makes sense. Mike agrees to help get Pierce off the property. Without Pierce in this, I don't think Mike would have gone with it. I think that helped a lot. Because Pierce is I don't know if you guys can tell, but Pierce is a noble man. He's a nobleman. Fights for the country.
Nobleman.
So anyway, and then Pierce and Martha, guys.
Gosh, so weird.
They have a tender goodbye.
Thank God they didn't kiss. I would have been so pissed if they kissed. Otherwise, I was fine with the way their goodbye was. But if they would have kissed,
it's still inappropriate. Yeah. You're.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's inappropriate because you're.
So do you remember when you left? Do you remember when you left our place of work and you were saying about
Christina and I were like that.
That was like.
But okay, here's the thing. Christina wasn't married to my boss. Right, to the person I was sworn to protect, and I wasn't trying to bring that boss down while also trying to put them.
Or were you? There's no.
So yes, I agree with you that Justin, Christina, and I embraced very similarly when.
When I left.
No,
we did not, folks.
But
lies.
Did Christina cry when you left?
Has lies. Probably, I cry when everybody leaves.
She sobbed when I left.
Oh yeah, because you're the. Justin
Christina
was the last
and I had some emotional moments throughout the years when we worked together. We had some.
Justin was my last friend, and after he left, I was like, I am out.
Anyway,
goodbye.
Hopefully,
oh yeah, sorry, we went down memory lane.
Yeah, hopefully, Ho Jarton doesn't listen to this. Podcast. So anyway, he does. He's like, hey, I knew I caught them. I'm gonna make some joke about something stupid. Anyway, so Mike and Pierce try to bury Adam's body? They took it out to a field. What were they doing?
I don't know.
Were they trying to bury him?
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't a good plan.
What? This isn't I Know What You Did Last Summer, guys. Leave the body and be like, hey, we're going to take care of this stuff. Like, I don't know, whatever, fine, whatever. Jack calls Mike and says he needs to talk to Pierce. Coincidentally, hey, I'm right next to him and I'm involved with all this. Puts him on speaker. And speaker phones in the world of 24, boy, do they work good. They work well. You can hear clearly, even if you're on comm.
Just as good as phones on planes.
Yeah, just as good as phones on planes. Anyway, he tells him that Mike knows. Jack needs to get a confession. And he says he cannot be allowed to remain in office, not for one more day. Guys, the trailer for this episode had a bunch of lines, and I'll tell you them as they come along to show you how excited we were for this next episode. And that's one of the lines that happened. He cannot be allowed to remain in office, not for one more day. Heard that in the trailer and was like, ah. So they said they delay him. Jack intends to coerce a confession. Logan starts clearing the house. CTU Hayes is getting moved. Bill said he'll probably be next. Chloe asks for clearance for somebody new to come in, and it's Morris O'Brien, Chloe's ex-husband.
First of all, I thought it was going to be like her dad or something.
Okay.
I would have preferred it was her dad or literally anything besides this. It just seemed ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I know how Justin.
Really?
I know Justin thinks about this because it's obvious just from me watching it how I feel that I know Justin feels 10 times worse. Christina, what did you think? Because it didn't seem to bother you.
I thought it was so funny. he was like super sleazy and like
immediately was hitting on some chick.
It was too out there. It was too out
funny. No, that's
shotgunning a character like that is never a good thing. I
thought it was funny. I had no problem with it, and I thought it was so funny because I feel like she would end up with somebody like that. I thought it was funny.
No, I just felt like it was ridiculous that somebody like that would end up with her. It's just like
I can't.
She's a wet towel. Nobody wants to talk. Like, why would anybody want to do it?
I can't imagine them together. First of all. Second of all, we've seen her intimacy issues with Spencer earlier in the season, which, by the way, Spencer, man, did he get lucky that he got taken out of CTU when he did. And that he got out of this a long time ago.
He'd been dead.
3, that means that they were married before season 3.
Right.
So it's been her ex-husband for how long? We don't know. Seemed like he used to work at CTU or something like that. He used to have clearance at CTU or something like that.
First time we've heard of him, but we're bringing back everybody.
It didn't work for me. It never worked for me. So
I don't have a problem with it.
And also, he's just too much of a look at me. I'm just this character. I'm this character. He comes in. He's already hitting on some chick.
She said now he's selling shoes in Beverly Hills. Like he obviously is supposed to be this character. Right. So like. I don't know. I thought it was funny. And then when he saw Jack, he's like, Jack. I don't know. I didn't mind
funny. I don't think Jackson and I are looking for funny on the show. I think we're looking for natural humor.
Sorry. Okay.
I think we're looking for natural humor, like things that are that just happen to work out funny. Like what I think is funny is Chloe saying, "Jack, just so you know, if you ever need anybody to talk to, like you can talk to me." And he turns and looks at her like, "What the hell?" Like I find that funny. I don't find, "Hi, I'm Morris. I'm pretty much coming in with a cocktail to this office, and how you doing? Just so you know, if you use this filter for your file, you'll get a lot better usage." And she's like, "Could you stop hitting on the prettiest lady that came in here?" Just is a detractor from the episode.
It's just all bad. It was all bad.
Justin, I hope you appreciate. Justin, I hope you appreciate my stance on Morris or Brian, and I'm not sitting here going arguing against you. You're not the lone wolf on this one. He's not the worst thing in the world, though. Not the worst thing that's ever happened. But anyway, so that's Morris Brian Chloe's ex-husband. By the way, when we watch this, when we're all watching this during the finale, we all go, "What?" Like the whole room was like, "Oh!"
That's why I thought it was funny because it's like you didn't see that coming. I know it's like a stupid thing, but it's like, wait, what?
Look, if
this episode, by the way, was the biggest.
Bring her ex-husband into it, then that's fine. Like I get like. Oh, we got to bring Chloe's
and dude was just up at 6 a.m. already ready, like close. He could be there about that.
Yeah, it's just.
He's selling shoes in Beverly Hills. Why is he up at 6 a.m. already dressed?
Like he's ready to go sell the fucking shoes. Yeah. Nobody's buying shoes in Beverly Hills at 6 a.m.
But what I was gonna say was when I'm saying about the reaction of people. This episode was the biggest crowd I watched any episode of 24 with. So that's it's funny to remember to recall. The reactions. Anyway, so Morris is a character, and then she needs some audio shit that she's not as good at. You can get up to 6.7. I can only get up to a 4.3, so I'm going to need you to go ahead and get down on that. He's like, okay. What? All right, fine. So we see in the news Palmer's body's going to be moved. Martha gets frustrated that he's going to eulogize Palmer. Mike says you have to find a way to stall him if you want to be brought to justice. Jack arrives and sees Aaron. Martha's helping. He said, "Can she be trusted?" "She is with us, Jack. She is my boo. She is my bae for life." And then Jack plans to get on the chopper, which is pretty decent plan. Just, you think how impossible it would be to get him on a chopper in this situation, but this guy has everybody is betraying the president right now. The first lady, his chief of staff, and the head of Secret Service are all betraying the president right now. Now, you can use betray however you want as a positive or a negative, but they're betraying him, right? So it is plausible that between those three people that they could accomplish the things that Jack was able to accomplish. Not to mention that he has one of the best computer analysts, computer hacker people in the planet working with him also. With the complete counter-terrorist computer system at her disposal. Do we all agree on that?
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do think sometimes Chloe gets real lucky that no one calls her into any meetings or something.
Right.
Like while she's trying to do these things. I remember at Best Buy when I was trying to do something in the leadership room.
Hold on. We never say where we worked.
Oh crap!
Okay.
Did you try?
Damn it,
that?
Christina.
Just restart it.
Have
and
we
say,
never said?
We purposely never say it. But anyways, just say.
Oh, I'm so
just
sorry.
restart the story
Timestamp.
and just say
Okay.
at our work.
Like I remember like at our work when I would be trying to do stuff in the leadership room, like I don't know, online shopping, and I'm like, add it to my cart, or even better.
I would come in.
No, you were like doing. Like,
I'd be coming in with the Starbucks. I'd be rolling to the Starbucks, and you'd be like shopping for socks.
Yeah, or even worse, like when you have like a concert you want to see, and the tickets only go on sale while you're at work, and so you have to get them. So then you try and buy them, and then they keep paging you somewhere. Like she never gets interrupted. Good for
Christina,
her.
you wear unmatching socks, right, on purpose?
Yes. I don't know.
But they match while not matching.
Kind
right?
of.
You'll get the same.
Right.
They're the same style.
Yep, same style but different color.
Right. Well, because it'd be weird to wear a different style. Like
no, it's weird. Like, it's weird no matter what. It's weird anyway. Anyway, so somebody in the chat room just said, Greg in the chat room just said, that is so freaking weird that she does that. I'm never listening to this podcast again. And then did the middle, did the middle finger emoji. That was weird.
No,
I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. So
the middle finger emoji.
So it's cool to see how Logan thinks he's just in the clear, right? Like you see Logan walking around like he is the freaking man. Like he just got a date to prom. Like no more stress. He's not stressed about anything. He's like
skipping.
Yeah, basically skipping along. I really like that. Martha comes and seduces him to get him to get delayed. There's a helicopter waiting for me, and she's like, he's like, I can't. She goes, yes, you can. You're the president, and plays to his ego, right? His power. She knows how to play to his power. She does it in the next episode too, and she makes like this disgusted look while he's calling and saying, "I'm gonna need a minute," and they're like, "No problem," and then they started the countdown from 1 minute. Jack and Aaron get to the helicopter, and Mike calls and says, "If Logan doesn't actually confess, how far are you willing to go?" And Jack says, "As far as I have to." Beep, 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 beep. Episode 5.
That was all the first episode?
Yep. Oh, episode 524 aired on May 22nd, 2006. It's from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Logan and Martha are already getting dressed. Talk about a 1 minute man. Wow. Martha talks to somebody afterwards. She says she delayed him as long as she can. Martha, you got to move your hips slower. That's all I can say.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, Dylan.
That was the worst.
Dylan.
Because this especially when you watch this on TV and you don't have a week in between because this episode aired right after. We were like sitting here being like, they're already getting dressed. This is impossible. I couldn't have done this when I was 15. I couldn't have had sex this quick. It's a monumental.
Are you
feat.
boasting right now? Sounds like you're boasting.
Some
of us have problems. All right, some of us identify with Logan and his issues.
I think remember, Bob Dole was the spokesman for Viagra. And, I get a Bob Dole vibe from President Logan, but he can go from 0 to 60 in 60.
Listen, it's not the craziest thing that's happened in these episodes, that's for sure.
All I'm saying is Martha Logan moved the hips slower, and maybe it will work out.
Oh my gosh, let's move on.
All right, so Chloe switches the manifest with Mike helping get Jack as the chopper pilot on Marine One. And then my next note says, "Wouldn't Logan notice Agent Adams missing?" But we already discussed this. So Jack gets a flight suit after knocking out the pilot with Pierce's help, and that was like a friend of Pierce. And after this is, I think, this might be the last time we see Pierce. And we see like
ever
in this episode.
I was like, what? No. Okay, yeah.
And you see that like after he leaves, he was friendly with this agent that's knocked out, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna leave you here." He's like, "Don't worry about this guy. I got him." And you could tell that that Pierce was knocking the guy out for his own benefit, right?
Yeah.
Pierce had Jack knock him out for his own benefit rather than he could have tried to talk the guy into it, but then make that guy commit treason along with all of them. I don't think so. So anyway, Mike says Jack Bauer to Martha. Jack Bauer's in the helicopter. Find an excuse to not be on board, and she's like, I have to. She plays to his ego, and she's like, you need to get off get off there yourself, and be the leader in charge.
Look like a man, a big boy.
Yeah, the big one in charge. And he's like, all right, and he smiles. He's just such a chump. You just have to play to his ego. And
Homeboy just got laid, so he's feeling real good.
Yeah, he's feeling real good. If I don't know if he actually got all the way to getting laid. I don't think, again, that's mathematically possible.
Homeboy had some... Yeah.
I think he had an American Pie thing going on, and they were like, again? Anyway, guys, I can't believe that they did that, though. It's mathematically impossible.
They're being funny.
It's not the most ridiculous thing that happened on this show, Dylan. Some people have problems like that.
If there was a problem, he wouldn't be getting dressed with such pride.
What?
He would be like,
he's proud of it at this point.
He would be
at
like
his old man age that he can get off in a minute. That's actually
oh my gosh, jeez.
Justin, he would be like, I'm so sorry, this never happens.
No, that's what I say at my young man age. At an old man's age, I'm saying that that's something that you may be proud of.
I think Justin raised probably the strongest argument he's raised on this podcast. I can't. When you're in your 50s, in your mid 50s, maybe if you had a premature ejaculation situation, you would be proud of it and bragging to your friends over a poker game. You'd be like, guess what happened to me the other day? They'd be like, what?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
No way, dude. Anyway, so as they take off, Logan steps into the chopper with Jack. Was this not exciting as hell?
Mm-hmm.
Dustin.
Dustin's still fuming from his last argument.
Yeah, I'm still trying to clean up.
Oh my God.
It was exciting, yes.
Okay. And as they take off, Jack pulls a gun on the pilot and says, hey, I can fly this if I have to, so either do what I say or you die for nothing. And then he goes to the back and he says, Mr. President, we have something from a slight deviation. And then he tases the two Secret Service members with him. He looks like, the hell are you doing? And Jack sits down and takes his helmet off. And that look on Logan's face. Guys, like...
Yeah,
it's worth 1,000 episodes of any TV show. Not any TV show, but there's so much build up for this moment that it delivers. The look on his face, be like, oh my God, I am captured by Jack Bauer right now. Like, are you freaking kidding? Right? Do you agree, Justin? This was satisfying at all in any way, shape, or form?
Yes.
So
yeah.
Anyway, so he hasn't handcuffed himself, and he calls Chloe, and Morris is going to meet them with the recording equipment. Logan starts pleading, and I love him just pleading. He tries everything. He's like, my people did things I didn't want them to do, and thinking how bad this would be for this country, and you're just looking out for vengeance. And Jack ignores him, doesn't say a word to him, just looks at him with a vengeful smile. And he's doing it all just to keep him scared, right? To keep saying anything to him this time. The first thing he says to him when he says, you know what, I'll get you a new life. I give you my word. And Jack says, your word. That's like the first response, and that's way later in the episode, too. Takes Logan to a warehouse, and I think if Marine One went off track, I think there would be more quicker protocols in effect.
Yeah, I think that was a little, And why isn't anyone following them?
Right, yeah.
I mean, it was pretty quick though. Like he had 10. It was like they said he had 10 minutes.
Yeah,
but you can kill the president in 10
Trust
minutes,
me,
for sure.
what the president could do in 10 minutes, he could do something 10 times in that.
Oh gosh. So inappropriate.
So anyway, so he searches Logan. And Logan thinks it's about weapons. But when he tosses his pen on the table, the camera zooms in on it. By the way, fun fact. That's for the rewatch. I know that neither of you guys will ever rewatch this. But they do zoom in on the pen. The pen that he uses to incriminate him later.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So Morris delivers the equipment and he sees it's Logan. And he's like, holy shit, that's the president. Like, what is going on right now? I almost wish that he gave a bigger reaction. Was like, holy, what is going on right now? And he's like, you should leave. I don't know. You guys agree? Like, would you have a bigger reaction if you saw? If you walked in and it was Donald Trump chained up, maybe I'd be like, what can I do? to help.
You would high five for sure.
I'm like, what can I do to help, sir? Just kidding, NSA. I'm just kidding, NSA. So
Yeah, but
NSA,
this guy isn't a regular guy. He worked for CTU also, so he's seen some things, I'm sure.
a president being held up by another CTU agent.
I don't know.
I don't think he's seen that.
Some things.
So anyway, he says you have 10 minutes. If you don't get a confession, then we'll all be arrested for treason. I like how Chloe's like, Chloe delivered this perfectly. Hey, I don't want to add any more pressure, but if you don't get a confession in 10 minutes, we'll all be arrested for treason. He's like, I know. And Jack sets up recording equipment for the confession. He's like, don't count on it. I saw what you did to Walt Cummings. I think you'll find I'm a bit tougher.
Oh yeah, I like literally laughed out loud.
Are
like,
you,
really?
bro?
Imagine if he started threatening to carve his eyes
I
out.
could put Logan's arm behind his back and just do that whole try and break his arm and he'd cry.
Yeah. Also, I like that he says that because he's like, I'm a bit tougher. And then he plays immediately as soon as he starts realizing he might start getting tortured. He starts playing the anybody can say anything under duress. It doesn't mean anything, which is a good argument to be said on there.
That was smart.
If he got a confession, it wouldn't have been admissible. It wouldn't have gotten him impeached at all. So anyway, Jack explains the conspiracy on camera. He explains it in detail, and I think he does a really good job of it. And the whole time, Logan's denying it. And by the way, at the very beginning, when they first start talking about it, Logan confesses. He says people did things.
Yeah, like on the plane.
On the plane, yeah, in the helicopter.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't he have this little device turned on?
He should just turned on call recorder on his phone recorder. Yeah. Phones at least even had that back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
did they? I don't know.
And then he says, people say anything under torture, and he's Mr. President, I'm not going to torture you, but if you don't tell me what I want,
which was so scary.
But if you don't tell me what I want to know, I will kill you. And Logan's like, oh shit, and he pulls the chair closer. So then he says, I had to write this down line by line. A year and a half ago, I was told I had to pretend to die to protect myself from people in my own government. My only daughter will never forgive me. And as I see the depth of your corruption unfold, I see that you were the source of that danger. And he said, David Palmer was a great man and a great president. He was also my friend. He tried to warn me about you, and now he is dead. Other people tried to help me, and now they're dead too. So, Mr. President, I hope you understand that I have absolutely nothing to lose. Do I not deliver this with the conviction of Jack Bauer?
Yeah, you could do a live action remake.
I could do it.
I
could do Jack Bauer on Ice. Jack Bauer on Ice.
Yeah, if they're ever casting on Ice, I'm putting your name in as.
I'm not done, guys. We're not done with this.
Oh.
Because then next he says.
You wanted pre-praise?
No, there's a pause.
He wants to make sure he's doing a good job.
There was a pause, guys.
Yeah.
There was a pause. It wasn't this long of a pause, but he says, you are going to be held accountable for everything that happened today. You will not be able to hide behind the presidency. Right here, right now, you are going to face justice! And make no mistake, this is very personal. And if you think...
That was good.
Don't interrupt me, I'm Jack Bauer. And if you think I'm afraid to put a bullet in your head, you don't know me.
You don't know Jack.
Most of this speech, and especially after he yells, the camera's on Logan and the fear in his eyes. I love it. And you know what? The best thing he says is that you're not going to be able to hide behind the presidency because it's all he tries to do is hide behind the presidency.
Yeah.
Logan doesn't want to die, but he says, I'll be a martyr. If you murder me, I'll go down with Lincoln and Kennedy. You'll go down with John
which was so ridiculous.
And Lee Harvey Oswald. It's true, though. It would.
It is. It was like a good thing for him to say. It's like, whatever, I'll die and I'll be a hero.
Right? And remember, Logan was willing to die earlier. He was willing to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
So really, Logan was really willing to die right now. And dying would be better than exposing, right? Like than living in. He was willing to commit suicide earlier. So this would let him go out. If he committed suicide, he'd go down as a person that committed suicide. If he went out like this, he'd go down as a person that was kidnapped and assassinated. So this would have been a good thing, but he didn't want to die. He almost cried. But then Jack shakes and can't do it, and he's like, "Oh, you can't do it. It's all right. And he's like, I'm the president." And then he's like, "They're here." And then Jack surrenders. He's arrested. And then Logan says he feels sorry for that man. He's delusional. Make sure he's in some type of solitary confinement. What were you guys thinking at this point? Did you guys think that Jack actually wussed out?
No, oh gosh, I don't know what I was thinking, but I knew we only have like 30 minutes left, and I was like, how are they going to get us all done? That's what I was thinking, to be honest.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There was too much conversation about you need to get this confession, otherwise we're all going to go for treason. They shouldn't have had all of that, because if they did get the confession, it wouldn't have been admissible. I really wish the entire plan from the beginning, which is what it seems like in some situations, it seems like the entire plan was to get the recording device on him and make him burn himself later.
Yeah, I mean,
to
be honest with you, though, like I didn't pick up on it right away when that happened. So like I thought it was actually done pretty well, because like I had the same thought, Christina. Like, what are they going to do? This is almost over. Right. So
yeah. And then when you realize later that he had the recording device on, I was like, ooh, that's a good little twist. Right. I like that.
That was the line
in
Jack and Coke.
Exactly. You beat me to the punch.
It wasn't punch. It was Jack and Coke.
Oh, gosh.
With the surprise twist. Logan arrives at Palmer's castle to give a statement. Martha's devastated. And we get a nice tribute to Palmer, and his coffin is moved, and Martha loses it, start yelling out, "You're a murderer!" And he goes to check on her. Oh, by the way, the right here, right now, you are going to face justice. That was on the trailer. And the scared look in Logan's face was on the trailer for the next episode. Do you know how excited we were?
Probably super excited.
Yeah, I watched that trailer over and over and over again. Anyway, so he has her taken to a back room, and he goes in and he gives her the slap of her life. He slaps her hard.
I was like, what the?
He probably,
He checks her for bugs, and he knows that she tried to set him up with Bauer. And then he tries his Jack Bauer techniques to get her to admit it. And then they discuss his entire plan, and he admits to everything like a dumbass. And he says, if you blow up like this one more time, I will shoot you so full of drugs you won't remember your own name, and they'll send you to an asylum for the rest of your life. And he's like,
yeah, that's not going to look good in the tabloids, right. You know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
Logan salutes Palmer's casket and starts his speech, and Chloe is on with the Attorney General on speaker, and Karen Hayes and Bill come in, and they're like, we didn't condone this. We're sorry. And she's like, sorry, I had to keep you guys out of it just in case this didn't work. We find out that Jack planted a recording device on the pen. The Attorney General does not want to hear it, but then she just hits play. Logan continues his speech. Secret Service gets a call, and Logan sees them mobilizing around him, and he starts stuttering in his speech a little bit. They wait for the spin to finish the speech, and they go and whisper in his ear. Well, first he's like, you guys almost interrupt my speech. What the hell are you guys doing? And he whispers in his ear, and then he shows him the bug. You've never seen one of these, and he shows him back. And then he looks back at Martha, who's smiling.
Oh, so good.
Smiling.
And she, raises her head a little bit.
Yep. And she's like, what's up, dog? Mm-hmm. Who's going to get pumped full of drugs, homie? And then he tells the Secret Service, arrest this man, get him away from me. And he's like, you take orders from me. And he goes, not anymore, sir. And then he gets taken away while Palmer gets the 21 gun salute. And then in the car, you see Logan sitting there, and you see the camera zoom in on a defeated man. He lost, and he is obviously no longer going to be the president. Like, you guys weren't sure how that was going to go, but obviously they even discussed that Gardner's going to be sworn president. Good for Hal Gardner, who we thought was evil at first. Jack is released pretty easily, and Audrey's right there, and he says everything's gonna be all right. Guys, that should have cued you in. That's something.
Yeah, no, it did. When they started making out, she's like, "I can't believe you're here."
Well, she's like, "They can debrief me tomorrow," and he's like, "You sure?" And then he just kisses her because he was ready for a morning of sensual lovemaking.
Aren't we always?
Jeez.
And then she's like, I just can't believe you're really here. It's 24 hours, and she's just she's had a moment to stop.
Yeah, at first I was like, what is she talking about? He's been there all day. I was like, oh wait, it's been a day. She's like kind of coming down from all the craziness. And
then an agent comes to tell him that he has a call from Kim, and he's like, it should be put through a landline inside that door. Oh, I actually, wouldn't you mind transferring it to my cell phone? I have a cell phone right here. Oh, it's dead from 24 hours. Actually, I will go to that landline.
I don't know. The most realistic thing is that it would not be dead, actually, because of phones during that time were charged for 48 hours. Usually,
no, they weren't. They died just as fast as they do now.
Okay.
And then he says, "I love you" to Audrey, and then goes in and he's knocked out, and he sees Audrey out the door, the crack of the door as he passes out. What did you guys think was happening right now at this point?
As soon as all this went down, I was like, "Oh man, it's gonna be this Chinese."
Did you guys think it was Chinese?
Did you actually think that? I didn't.
Oh
no.
yeah, like it took me all the way till like I didn't think they were gonna come back, but as soon as they did, I was like, I bet you it's gonna be the Chinese, because I was just thinking like, oh for sure, yeah. I couldn't think of anyone else who it would be.
No,
I mean, maybe for a split second the Russians went through my mind, but I was like, no, it's gonna be this whole other thing. And then as soon as the guy like walks up on him later in the other scene, I'm like, oh, I knew it. And he starts talking, and it's that voice he has. What's up with that voice?
What voice?
The Chinese guy.
Well, if
That's
any of us impersonate
racist,
it, we're
but-
gonna be really racist. So we're not even gonna.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It's not like he has like an accent. It's just he has a weird.
We're not even there
it's like
yet.
a Tony
We're not even
thing.
there yet. I just wanted to know when
I
they were
know.
masked, if you knew who they are. But
Sorry.
Karen Hayes and Bill
No.
discuss Logan. Will probably cut a deal. They I'll see that to.
And discuss some breakfast.
And then Hayes says she'll defend Bill, and then they say some nice things to each other, and then he's like, "You want to get some breakfast?" And she's like, "Rate and check." What's up, Bill and Karen Hayes?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bill's trying to get it in.
Bill's trying to get it in right
Why'd they
there.
have to go with it since it's a TV show and we want like it to all end in good spirits? Why'd they have to give him a rain check? Like, why didn't you just let him go on a
Yeah.
date? Like, why?
Yeah, why not?
Why the rain check, guys? Yeah.
Bill gives Chloe something he found in Edgar's possession, and what is it?
A little cute
Picture
picture.
of the other. Everyone gets their send off on this season except for poor Lynn McGill.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And then Morris offers, "Do you want to talk about it?" And she's like, "Yeah." Fucking, he might as well put his arm around her with a freaking drink in his hand. "You want to talk about it, babe?
You would get
Babe,
Somewhere
John,
quiet,
John,
quiet
go and talk
corner.
about it. Go fucking
Oh,
talk
God.
about it." And she's like, yeah, sure. And they leave. So obviously something's happening there, guys. Audrey finds the phone off the hook and says Jack is missing. Everyone starts panicking. And then, boom, we get to this moment. We see Jack dragged, beaten mercilessly. How bad was his beating? His whole face was swollen.
Face is messed
fucked
up.
up. And he got brought up to Chang, and he says, "You should be aware, Mr. Bauer." See, I'm not being racist. I'm not being culturally insensitive. I'm not saying Mr. Bauer. China has a long memory. 18 months ago, you invaded our territory and killed our consulate. Did you really think that we would forget? And he says, "I just need to make one phone call, please." Who do you think that one phone call was to?
I couldn't decide if it was Chloe, Kim, or Audrey.
What do you think, Justin?
Well, that's a good question.
It's definitely Kim.
Aaron?
It's Kim.
Pierce?
It's Kim for sure. Kim.
Aaron Pierce?
100% Kim for sure.
See, but I thought,
or Morris O'Brien.
It could be Morris.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say,
I thought, okay,
yo,
is-
go for that dog. Go get at that. Get at that dog.
I thought it might be Kim. Kim is my top, like probably my top choice because it's his daughter and he needs to say bye, blah blah. But I'm like, him and Chloe are so connected.
It's not
What if
Chloe.
it's Tony?
that
It's
he-
not Chloe.
What if it's Tony?
The other
Oh, does he get to make the call?
no. The other option I would say would be Audrey. That he didn't want Audrey to think that he
So
left
you
her.
thinking he left
Yeah.
or something?
But I
Yeah.
would assume it would be Kim. But the
But
only
you
other
haven't let
option-
me finish my Chloe
I'm
explanation.
sorry. The wrong explanation.
Well, because they're so like connected that he could probably like let her like within very
I
few
see.
words tell her
I see.
exactly what
I
happened.
see. Yeah, sure. It makes sense.
That's what I thought.
But
yeah.
I do get the I get the impression that it's Kim, but who knows? Because this is the last we ever see Jack Bauer. We never see him.
You're so
Next 3 episodes have a different
So
character.
they
You're
say
so
they say no, and he spits on Chang, and then he says probably one of the most heartbreaking lines that he's ever said in the show, which is
Yeah.
"Kill me, just kill me, kill you."
Skill.
You're far
Silly,
too
Mr. Bauer.
valuable to kill, Mr. Bauer. And then a badly beaten Jack lays on the ground as the camera pulls out, and we see that he's on a ship to China.
Shanghai.
Shanghai.
Vacation.
Kill count plus 6. We have a total kill count of 132 kills on 120
Nice. That's that good ratio.
ratio. All right, so I think there's lots to discuss about the season as a whole, but let's save that for our bonus episode. This should be coming out in a couple days, so you guys can look forward to seeing that. So let's just kind of cut it off here. I think that we just to save ourselves some content for that. What do you guys say?
Yeah, that sounds
Sounds
Why don't you tell
good.
people where they can follow you on the internet, Justin Moreno?
I'm on the internet under @JustinBMoreno on Twitter and Instagram.
What about you, Christina Vanderslice? Where do you think people could follow you on the internets?
I don't know where I think they could follow me, but they could try at K_Vanderslice on Twitter and at K_Vanderslice on Instagram.
And
what about you, D-Dog?
Your home address?
I think I almost gave that away.
I put it in the show notes. Don't worry. And people are looking up the show notes real quick right now. Then they'll see the watchandtalk.com, the movie review podcast I do. It was a bad week for movies, bad 2 weeks. But we did do a Game of Thrones review, so we reviewed the whole season of Game of Thrones. So go check that out at thewatchandtalk.com. And next week we're going to be reviewing It, the Stephen King adaptation coming to theaters. We're going to be reviewing that. Or by the time this episode comes out, we would already reviewed that. So check that out at thewatchandtalk.com. And for the show, you can follow us at Legacy24. Email us legacy24@gmail.com. Go to our website at legacy24.com or go to our Facebook, facebook.com/legacy24. We're excited about the next season coming up. We're excited to talk to you guys about it, so let us know what you think. And tune in to the next episode where we talk about the season as a whole, go over a couple awards, and then we kind of preview season 6 for just a little bit. At the beginning, I was going over trailers. I don't want to show you trailers anymore. I just want to go over a couple tidbits.
Just jump right in.
And then we get right into it. And that's it. I'm Dylan Chuck.
I'm Just Marino.
And I'm Christina Vanderslice.
And we'll see you next week. All right. Let me just stop and we'll go to the next one and we'll get this done up. And
yep.
All right. Just start with the same intro, 120 episodes. Welcome to the Legacy of 24. I'm Dylan Chuck, and I've seen every episode of 24.
And I'm Just Marino. I've only seen 120 episodes of 24, or also 5 seasons.
Oh, and I'm Christina Vanderslice. I've also seen 5 seasons, 120 episodes of 24.
This podcast, we're discussing the entire 5th season, previewing the 6th season of Fox's original show, 24.
I'm about to just go off the cuff on this one. And this episode, we're going to be discussing our favorite moments, least favorite moments, favorite characters, least favorite characters, roughest days, biggest surprises, all from season 5.
Whip it, Lotto, whip it. Whip it, Lotto, whip it. What's that reference from? Anybody get that reference?
The song Whip It by Devo?
No, that's from 8 Mile. Whip it, Lotto, whip it.
Oh, 8 Mile.
That's when the freestyle battle at the end, he's going up against Lotto. My motto, fuck Lotto.
Could you let Christina say her line?
I get my my motto, fuck Lotto. I get my 7. I get you 7 digits from your mother from $1 tomorrow.
And then I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Before he goes up, his friend goes, whip it, Lotto, whip it. So that's why when you were going to go off the dome, I said, whip it, Lotto, whip it.
Makes perfect sense. So, if you are not caught up on all 5 seasons of 24, guess what? It's available if you want Amazon Prime, and we encourage you to watch along.
Shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you want to be a supporter of the show, you can go to patreon.com/thewatchandtalk. A big shout out to our premium supporters, Shakita, June, Endless Mike, and Kaka. CoinCrack, boost your social media presence to watchandtalk.com/CoinCrack. All right, guys. Let's get into season 5 as a whole. This is my favorite season of television ever. I know Justin was probably thinking I'm crazy for that, right?
A little bit. Do
you understand it?
I mean, I get the appeal. I understand these twists and turns were really I could understand why they would be really great for somebody. I think that I may have had too high of expectations, and so that's probably why I didn't just love it.
Remember also, I mean, not that this really matters, but I mean, it kind of does. Breaking Bad didn't exist when this season happened. Game of Thrones wasn't even thought of when the season happened.
No. I mean, I get all that. I do. And I mean, what year was it? 2005, 2006?
This was in 2006. I only said it a bunch of times.
I mean, dude, look, I was 6 years old. I barely could even speak a sentence. Maybe I would have been as blown away as you were. I don't know.
You weren't really 6.
In 2006?
Were you born 2000?
Yeah,
no.
you know I'm only 17?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
When we were working together, you realized I was 13?
You were 11. You were 12.
I was,
Christina. Christina.
What?
Christina, stop. Ugh. Yucky. Let's ride through your... Okay, respond to what we were saying now that your sound quality caught up.
Me or
Christina, respond to what you were saying. All right.
Hello?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, it's because... Hold on.
because she got up off the floor.
Because she's streaming something. Right
Hello?
Yeah.
No, I'm not streaming anything. My phone's almost dead, so I had to charge it, so I was sitting on the floor. It's when I sit on the floor, I think that was the worst.
Got it.
But I'm back, and I can move my charger. I forgot that I have a charger.
So he's not
here. Anyways.
Yeah. So you're 25, right, Justin? 24, 25?
I'm 24.
24. Okay, we're always making. You're 24, like Jack Bauer, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I have to say, on my 24th birthday, when I had a party, I was like,
"Gosh, you had a Jack Bauer themed party, right?"
No, I didn't. But I was like, I'm 24, like Kobe Bryant and Jack Bauer. I kept saying that my whole like birthday, all drunk. Anyway, okay. What about Christina? What's your take on me saying this is my favorite season of television ever?
I guess I'm kind of in between. Like, I get why, especially when you put it in the context of the time. Like, I can't even think of another show other than Lost that was out at this time that was like, that is this good in like its moment. I guess that's a way to phrase it. Right. So like, I get it. The fact that it's still stands as your favorite show ever, I feel like that's where I'm like, oh man, like you really love it, because I just feel like there's been so much great TV. Now
remember, I do have a distinction between the best show of all time and my favorite show of all time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And I think that's a smart thing to do, because it's like, yeah, this could be your thing, but it's not everybody's thing. But
Breaking Bad, I think, is the best show of all time, but 24 is still my favorite.
Yeah.
It's 24 was such an experience for me.
You think Breaking Bad is the best show of all time?
Yes. Oh, no competition. There's no. It's like the second place is far away from it. Far.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, so
that was a long pause.
Well, I thought that Justin was going to say something, but then he.
I mean, I've never seen it, so I don't know.
You've never? Oh my gosh, I'm going to throw up.
I mean, Justin, it is.
Justin, you would. I know someone recently, my friend's boyfriend, who watched it in like a week because he was so caught up in it. Like, he was so drawn into it, he had never seen it.
It's unquestionably the best show of all time.
So
the best.
He even read the subtitles.
Unquestionably the best show of all time.
Justin, what do you do?
I think I would put. I honestly would put. I would put Game of Thrones already at this point. I would put it in the conversation. It would be in the top 5 list or whatever.
Yeah, but Breaking Bad is better. I would agree.
Breaking Bad is on top, and it will. I don't see it ever being.
And I don't think
beating the throne.
Yeah, I don't think Game of Thrones, especially how this past season and how the next season seems like it's going to shape up, is going to be able to beat Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to 24.
Okay.
Well, you should watch Breaking Bad. That was just basically our whole thing. You should watch it.
Everybody would agree this is the best season so far. I don't think anybody in the world would disagree with that, right? That season of 24?
Right, of the show.
Yeah, of the show, at least.
Yeah. Of the show, yes, certainly.
Would you say by far, Justin?
Yes.
Okay, because this is, at least, I feel like this has been the least negative for you, which is I guess we have to somehow pull a positive from that.
Hey, look, if it's the least negative, then it's the most positive. You just gotta cup's half full, baby.
Okay, should we rank them? Would we be able to rank them? I think I would rank at this point through the rewatch. Season 5, Season 3. I guess, I don't know. Again, Season 1 and 2 were really degraded upon rewatching in 2017.
Yeah, 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. I think it's like the collective, probably.
I'm not a huge fan of Season 4 in a lot of ways, but man, 1 and 2 really, really were damaged to me rewatching them 15 years later. So I guess I would now have 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. Season 3 is fun.
See, and I would go.
Season 3 is
I think I'd put 1 higher, only because it's like for you, Justin. I feel like you should put 1 higher, because we don't know what to expect. So it's kind of just like the anticipation of like, Dylan's been talking about the show. What's it going to be about? Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Right,
the whole thing was, honestly, I thought.
Did you even read that review though that guy posted a couple weeks ago, where I just decided I didn't like the show first season, and
that's true.
Everywhere
well,
was
listen,
that. So.
I do have to say, the feeling of the real time aspect being so new. I remember that being so exciting. Like so that has to boost it a lot. So, but here's the thing: on my rewatch, that was gone. I rewatched the show many times, but on the rewatch 15 years later, that was completely gone this time. But I do remember that first time watching it and being like, thinking trying to think of my day and thinking of how the hours are going by on it, and it being something that really made my mind think a lot with time as far as that went.
Yeah.
So I do remember that being an aspect of it and all that kind of stuff. So I agree with Christine.
Yeah, so that's why I think I still hold that one a little bit higher. I wouldn't put that one last for me.
I think that if it just wasn't shot so cheesily and it feels like an 80s show almost in some points. So I don't know. I guess I'd go back and forth. It also did have George Mason. George Mason was so amazing on seasons 1 and 2. I don't know where I'd put. I think I would tie them right now.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, the worst season hasn't happened yet.
Oh no.
And I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
I won't tell you before.
Can we speed watch
I actually
that
had
one?
a conversation.
Can we skip it?
I had a conversation with with our Twitter sphere, and I blocked both you guys on the Twitter, and said, should I tell these guys before what my
season?
What my least favorite season? I'm not going to say when it is. But I guess maybe you guys figure out as we go along. I don't know. We'll go because I don't know if it took until the whole thing was over really before I thought it was that in my opinion. And it might not be as bad on my rewatch. I might not hate it as much, but it's kind of universally thought of as the worst season. But
Damn it.
I don't know.
It's not next season, is it?
I don't know how my I'm not going to answer it. I'm not even going to hint at where it's going to be occurring. But I don't know where it's going to go on my ranking now on my rewatch because it's been so long since I've watched the show in order. So yeah. Anyway, as far as that goes, let's get into our let's go over our awards for it. Favorite moment. I kind of have two.
Okay, tell us more.
I think number one favorite moment of the season is Lynn's sacrifice, Lynn McGill's sacrifice, and
that's your number one favorite moment
of the season. Yeah,
that's outrageous.
I just thought the episode was so powerful, such a great moment with the Alec Baldwin looking guy in there holding his breath. And it's not necessarily because of Lynn itself, but Jack having to set it up and having to explain him and offering to do it himself, and
the whole line like, oh, easy for you to say.
Yeah, it's not easy for me to say.
You're like, I set you up for that.
Did.
You're welcome.
You did. But I would say also along that line, also I would say when Logan's face when he was finally confirmed by Jack, that was, so many episodes of build up to see that moment where he finally has Jack in his face after all these phone calls. I don't know how you let this happen. You better take care of this. You told me you would take care of Jack Bauer. Finally, he's face to face with Jack Bauer, and there's nobody you can call to get this taken care of for him. You're face to face with this man. That's a moment you can't really beat. So those are two of my favorite. I think my favorite moments of the season. Not that there's not a ton of really great moments in the season. I just guess if I had to say the favorite, Justin's obviously is way different than that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so like I guess I'll say this: like that episode was probably the best one of the season. Right. Like, yeah, okay. Sure.
So I guess the reason I'm saying that is because I'm like, why is that the best episode? I guess I'm. I don't want to say Tony's getting killed is the best part.
Just the stakes were so high in that episode.
Right. So
that's why it was.
So I guess
it's not because of that death specifically.
Right. I guess that whole situation of, I'm not saying Lynn's death is my favorite moment. I'm just saying that whole how they had to get out of that situation was my favorite moment of the season. Because again, that's my favorite episode of TV of all time.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I'll go with my favorite. Shit, that's hard though. Like I don't know if I had a favorite moment, but I guess like I get it was that what had to have been that episode though. I'm like reviewing some of the episodes right now, and I just like some of these episodes were not as good as that episode. Like not even.
Okay,
close.
while you mull it over,
yeah,
I'll give you mine.
Yeah.
I have two. I have a funny one and then just a well acted one.
Okay.
So the well-acted one is the first lady at the very end, like that moment where she raises her head. I thought it was so good because she has been beat up by him emotionally, now physically. Like she's just been through a lot with Logan and with this whole situation. And obviously she was extremely close to Palmer. And so him dying and just everything, and she just kept getting beaten down and beaten down and beaten down. And finally,
she was the one that brought him down. He wouldn't have gotten brought down if it wasn't for her.
It wasn't for her. And so for her to raise her head a little higher just showed that it was like, yeah, you know what? I'm okay without you. I'm going to make it through. It just had so much meaning to it. And like, I'm stronger than you thought I was. Yep. Like I'm more sober than I've ever been. Yep. So I just felt like that
I
was
brought
like a
you
really,
down,
like,
son of a bitch. You just threatened to put me
Yeah.
away forever. Guess who's going away forever?
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought it was like so smart of them to not say anything. Just have her have that look and just like act it like physically. So I liked that. And then my favorite moment that I thought was hilarious was when Chloe was like all distraught and then they were arguing and she's like, what did she say, Dylan? Can you get it for me? You got that line? Where she's like, okay, everyone just stop fighting. I'll get back to work or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
It was just a great
During
moment.
the same episode
and that was
we were
like
all discussing.
Yes. It was a laugh out loud Chloe moment, and I always appreciate those.
You know, there's also a ton
Okay,
of
so-
deaths. There's also a ton of deaths in this, and that were, that were huge parts of this. Obviously, we have that is death is a part of this as well.
Okay, but I have my favorite moment. I have a different favorite moment.
Okay.
My favorite at Jack on the plane when he
That
was.
was- upon rewatch, that was a lot more badass than I remember it. A lot.
yeah,
of that was,
that was fun. That was fun
that was
for
it.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
all right. So next one, least favorite moment.
I'll
go first. I'll go first, yeah. The return of Kim.
Oh, fuck off. That was fine. That was fine. That was just
That's
not
it.
even. That was not nearly as bad as my least favorite moment, which was Lin Manuel's sister. Like all of that shit, it was so bad.
Lynn McGill, not Lin Manuel.
Lin Manuel,
Yes.
Not the
That
guy,
is
the
so cool.
Hamilton guy.
not the guy who's wrote Hamilton.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I agree. That's
So cultured.
I agree. That was kind of stupid. But remember, we talked about this though. There's been those side family things. Remember, we got about 5 minutes total with them. We've had side family shit like that where we got like 10
that lasted the whole
episodes with
season.
them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why
yeah, sure.
nowhere near would that be on my least favorite. Do you guys think you guys are gonna know what I think is my least favorite moment? I'll say it's
No.
it's recent, and I really went on about it.
No, I don't remember.
You were just talking about the today?
No, well, I mentioned it briefly today, but it didn't happen in these two episodes. But it maybe happened in
I
an
don't know.
episode before at the very end, and I
Just tell us.
Bierko escaping at the fucking end was so
yeah.
stupid, so dumb. Like,
That was dumb.
give me a break. Like, I don't know. That was pretty stupid.
You're right.
All right. What about you guys' least favorite moment? I'm sorry, Christina.
Oh, we just did it.
Yeah, we did. We both
Kim.
went.
I said
Okay,
Kim, and I'm being serious.
Favorite
about
character. I have two for this also, and for two very different reasons.
I think
Actually, I have
we
three
all
for
have to
very
agree. We all have to agree, though. Aaron Pierce
Pierce.
was the goat
MVP
of this
MVP.
season. Was the goat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pierce is one of my three favorites that I have on here, and that's for very different reasons. Christina, did you have him at all in this list, or are you a sexist?
that. So no, sexist. No,
If you
I
say
don't have to
fucking Chloe, I'm hanging up this call right now.
I'm not gonna say Chloe, although I think Chloe did a phenomenal job this season, and you can see she's really Jack's go-to girl. But I'll say, I think favorite character from an acting standpoint and like the quality of like the arc of the character and the highs and the lows, Logan, and also I think the First Lady.
Yeah.
I think those two
agree.
characters, like I don't consider Jack as an option because we already know everyone's favorite character is
course.
Jack. So I think them as like
As a subplot was
duo?
good. Yeah.
yeah, it was like really like.
She's
And, you know, that's hard
she's
for
a
me
much
to say
better
after
she's a much better
my-
actress / character
I
than
know,
Sherry
blah,
Palmer.
blah, blah, then Sherry. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
So I know it's hard for me to say based on the fact that I like the Palmers. But I like the Palmers because I just liked Sherry's, like, sass and, like... But anyways, we won't talk about them. Rest in peace. But
Logan.
I just feel like... Yeah, I feel like Logan and... Like, they just had a really good dynamic, and it was interesting. And every time they cut to something with them, all of us were bought into it. It's not like we were ever like, oh, this is boring
Right.
or annoying,
Right.
or I don't want to see it.
Right.
So I thought that was a good...
I think you know, everybody always hates on the wife on shows. Like everyone hates like Skylar.
Christina was
Skylar-
Sherry Palmer's biggest
Skylar White
fan.
gets a lot of hate on Breaking Bad that I never understand, and there's just
I don't
happens
understand
on a
that
lot of shows like that, and it sucks, and it's stupid. And there, you know, I don't remember there being a lot of hate for this, but I think that she was a phenomenal aspect of it. I think she was interesting, and I think her character was exciting, and I appreciate that. But we must say, if I had to say my favorite character, like at the top, Logan. Not only was this, other than Jack Bauer, the best acted role in the show so far. You know, I love David Palmer as a character. You know, he wasn't asked to do what Gregory Itzin was asked to do as Logan.
Right.
And the way he could go from the way that he was able to carry this character and be consistent and slimy and egotistical and scared and forceful and still be presidential. He did a juggling act that I'm really still to this day incredibly impressed by. So I have to say that he's my favorite character of this season. Although Pierce I wrote even before him, and afterward I have to say Henderson too, because Henderson's such a great character also.
Nice.
You didn't have any. I was looking for a little response from you too, Justin, about everything I just said.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, the Henderson's character was good too. Yeah, I don't know.
You're not as there we are with Logan. Are you not as impressed with?
Yeah, I don't think I am. I don't think I am as there as you guys with Logan.
Again, he did get an Emmy for this role for the season.
I appreciate what you guys see in that, and like I appreciate what it was. I don't know. I just felt like it was cheesy almost the whole time. Let me ask this:
do you think another actor could have portrayed that role better?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, like maybe, but maybe not. It seemed like it seemed okay. So I'll say it this way: that the character played a very believable role in the sense that like it was a hard distinction separating that this is an actor from somebody in real life, like or from the character.
Also thinking about where he was at the beginning of the show too, and I really feel like that. I've said this before on the show. I really felt like they had this role, and they realized they had a gem of an actor more than they thought they had originally, and then they decided to change the role based on what they had as an actor.
Sure.
And it's not very. I don't feel like that from every character on the show at all. I actually feel like maybe sometimes the opposite happens, and I'll talk about that when we get to our least favorite characters, which I think we're ready for right now. I want Justin to go first because I'm just curious. I think that I'm curious what Justin's.
I guess so are we talking like least favorite main characters?
I don't know.
We
obviously Jack is our favorite character, and we didn't put him as our favorite character, so I guess we're trying to not be mean. But I'm just curious what you'd say if you think, to be frank, if you think Chloe was the worst character.
No, I don't think she was the worst character this season.
I'm saying you can say that if you thought that.
No, I don't think so. I think what was Karen Hayes' henchman's
Miles.
name?
Yeah, Miles. Slimy Miles.
Slimals. I put Miles also. I split it though with also Sherry, who was played by Kate Mara. Really.
Oh no, she was fine. Don't look at that's good enough for me.
Terribly written, terribly performed, awful. Another actress could have done a better job, but she could have been written better. Also, nothing was good about her character. It was awfully done. I can't believe she has a career after that. To be honest, I can't believe she was able to move up from that. And to be honest, she was able to shake it because she's a great actress now. Like her role in House of Cards is really good. But. She was awful in 24, and could you imagine my surprise when I saw her popping up in different places after this? I was just like, that's really, she would have a bigger role. That's really odd. So anyway, and Miles obviously, and Miles is obviously yours, right, Christina? He was written. I don't think he was written well. I think he was annoying, and not in a I love to be in, like, not in a Joffrey way. Which I can't think of a character other than Logan that I loved to hate as much as Joffrey. I just love enjoying seeing them on screen and just them everything they do, and you hate it, and I love seeing it. Miles, I hated it at all. But I did like what his character did at the end, though. I did like that. Even though it felt like it made us jump through another hoop, I still enjoyed that. I liked seeing that happen. So anyway, okay. Who had the roughest day, guys?
You know what? Normally I would say we can't say this person, but I'm not gonna lie. I think Jack had a rough day this time.
Jack had a rough day.
And
You know,
what
there's
changed
a
my
couple
mind
people
is
had
this.
some rough days.
Yeah, what changed my mind about who it was this ending. Like Jack is, first of all, he had that broken rib, never healed from
Well,
that.
hold on. First of all,
His closest
you
three-
already skipped something terrible happened to him. He couldn't get work at the beginning of the day as Frank.
Yeah, Frank had a
Right?
He was supposed. He
work.
promised he'd
I
have
didn't
work
get
that
work.
day, so it started off like shit.
Just rough.
And then his best friend got killed.
Yeah, and then his two other best friends get killed.
Yeah.
And then his other close friend is being hunted down.
Yeah.
And then he breaks his rib, and at the end of the day, he's beaten to a pulp. He can't make his one phone call. He wanted his one phone call. Is that too much
His
to
daughter
ask?
hates him.
His daughter hates him. She's dating a man that's his age. That's weird.
He had to be a traitor to his country many times, almost, by trying to bring down the president.
He got arrested a few times, or at least got
He
held
always
for
gets
things.
a-
I mean, he just
He
had.
always gets arrested a few times.
We should do a Jack arrest count.
Jack
But
arrested
he
count
just
this
had-
season.
He had a really, I'm going to say it, Jack, I think, had the worst day this time.
No, I think I think it's crazy. I think we've agreed on almost every single one so far, and I think we're gonna agree on this one too. Chloe had the roughest day.
What?
Watched
What?
her best friend die. Yeah, she had a rough day.
I agree about Jack.
No.
And
Also Audrey.
And I
Yeah, I was going to say Audrey.
I know I say the person had the roughest day other than Jack, which is the clear answer. Logan. Logan had a pretty stressful
gonna say
day.
It was
and then-
self-inflicted though. Like
Sure.
he was the one that was orchestrating
Sure,
it all.
but he, his day didn't go well.
Rough.
His life was much better 24 hours before the end of this season.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise, I think we're all going to agree on the biggest surprise, Logan being the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I was
good.
gonna say Chloe being married, but Logan being married too.
That is death. I think we're going to have definitely different disagreements on this. I think you guys will.
Oh, yeah.
We all
are.
know Christina's for sure.
I'm still mourning.
We know my.
Yeah,
We know.
When they saluted Palmer, I stood up.
I think we all know each other's actually.
What's mine?
I don't know if wait,
Tony. Yours
Was
is
it Tony?
Tony. Justin's is Michelle and Tony Levers. And
Lovers.
mine's Palmer.
Yes.
Mine is Edgar.
What?
It's not necessarily for
No,
his character.
you're lying.
I'm not
No,
lying.
yeah, Dylan talked a lot of when Edgar died. Dylan talked about it
His-
for like a little
his
bit too
death
long.
was
Like,
just-
he was
Tony?
very connected to this
Yeah,
character.
his death was just so sad how it was portrayed. I'm not saying that I'm the saddest by losing the character, but his death was portrayed the saddest. Like Palmer's is obviously the most devastating of it all, if you don't count Tony and Michelle also. But it was more shocking than sad. Right? We were so shocked.
Oh, so
we
you're.
couldn't be sad.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. I thought it was like, which one were we saddest about?
You can
like
interpret
our
it however
personal
you want.
saddest
That's
death.
how I just.
Oh, okay.
that's how I-
Well, then
yeah.
you're interpreting it different. This is like a writing prompt, and I think we all need to be on the same page.
Alrighty.
But no, you're right. His was portrayed as a very Chloe. Like, I can't do the voice. You can do it better than me.
Chloe.
Chloe.
Yeah, and like it's like he's so close, yeah, he's so far away, and then the yogurt, and it's just sad.
And what did you say yours was, Justin? You said it was Michelle's or Tony's?
It was Michelle Tony combo. Has to be.
I think Tony's would be
He
sadder
wanted to see
just
some
because
Michelle and
he
Tony
had to deal
babies.
with it for long. Anyway, I guess we should talk about season 6, and we'll talk about the prequel that we just watched. I'm gonna put a timestamp right now.
Oh no, we gotta watch a prequel.
No,
Why
They said
I
we
don't,
weren't
I don't
watching
have time to
prequels.
watch.
Us.
No, the prequel watch. I don't have time to watch the prequel right now, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm doing a timestamp right now. I will give you guys a prequel to watch, and when we record for episode 1 and 2, we're gonna talk about the prequel like you hadn't seen anything after it, and we're just gonna discuss it for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then edit it into this episode.
Okay, fair enough.
we're doing
Because
this
I'm
on
getting
Tuesday.
hungry. I'm getting a headache.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll talk about the. Now we're gonna talk about like we'd already talked about the
Yeah. We're with
prequel
you,
right
we're
now. So then I'm gonna give a preview for the
We're
episode.
with you.
All right. So the plot description for the next season 6. A new U.S. president has negotiated Jack's release from a Chinese prison so Jack could stop a series of terrorist attacks with his life.
It's just good that like the whole season isn't taking place in Shanghai.
Yes.
That was something very early on. They announced that this season would not be taking place in China. Maybe it would have been good. Maybe it wouldn't have been. Who knows?
It would have been it wouldn't.
Should I talk about returning characters?
Give us a little teaser.
No, I don't want a teaser. I don't want a teaser.
It will returning characters in the first episode. Like nothing that we would be shocked by.
Obviously.
Okay, no, don't tell us. Yeah, okay. Maybe
None of these would be surprises.
Wait,
None of these would be surprises of characters. They're just going to be shown.
We got some Chloe.
There's one surprise.
We got some.
I'm not going to tell you. You guys know who the president is, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm going to let you be surprised by who the president is, because I'll tell you,
Mike Novick?
It's not.
Yeah, I was saying Mike
It's
Novick.
not Hal Gardner. By the end.
Is it Mike Novick?
Because this happens.
Mike?
Is
it Aaron Pierce?
Guys, this is 20 months.
What if it's Aaron
This
Pierce?
is 20 months later. So it's a surprise. If you guys want to make predictions, that's fine. I'm not
Wayne
going to confirm.
Palmer?
As I said, it's Palmer's brother. It's Wayne Palmer.
Okay.
Oh, is it the first lady?
Okay, so
No.
Sorry.
people returning.
She's too
Jack Bauer obviously returns. Chloe returns. Bill Buchanan.
Kim is probably back.
Bill Buchanan is the head of CTU. Karen Hayes returns.
Oh, did they go to breakfast?
Well, I guess we'll find out when we watch the beginning of the next episode.
They're shacking it up. They're together.
Can I do a bold take and just have like I mean, we never saw Tony in a body bag. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, another returning character. You're not going to be stoked about this, Justin.
Chloe.
No, I already said that.
Oh, sorry.
But close.
Oh, Chloe's husband, Morris.
Morris O'Brien is now a cast member of the show.
Oh, if you guys thought I was shitting on Chloe, just wait until I shit on this character.
Guys, we haven't even thought of this character in the last couple episodes because he was so relegated to the background. Curtis is back for the next season. You ever thought about Curtis? Thought about Curtis when he saved Audrey. And last time I think we saw him was like, "Hey, you're."
No, when he was driving Jack, right?
Yeah, he pulled his one good move.
Yeah,
right.
With his move.
Right. Yeah, that's the last we saw him. And one other returning character who we have not seen since the first season. It's so weird.
Wait, so then why are you telling us? I thought
it's not a surprise when it happens, and I'm sure Justin will even forget. Do you guys remember the analyst from the first season, Milo?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Milo comes back in this season, and he's a staff member at CTU, completely randomly in the 6th season returning.
Does he have pistachios?
Oh, you silly goose. Anyway, so that's the returning main characters. Are there anybody there that you noticed that I did not mention?
Did you not say Audrey?
Audrey.
Oh shit! He didn't say Audrey.
Shit.
Oh, Randy.
Anybody else I didn't say?
Aaron Pierce.
Aaron Pierce.
You didn't say Mike Novick.
Mike Novick.
Didn't say Charles Logan.
Yeah, well, he's in
jail. He's locked up. He's locked up. Can't let him out.
You won't let me out. Locked up. You can't let me
I'm glad you guys got that, because I think I got the lyric wrong. I was like, I hope they get my reference.
All right. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun. So we got these episodes.
Oh, good. Then it's probably not your least favorite season.
We got a chunk of. We got to watch these first 4 episodes. They leaked early online before they came out, so I watched all 4 episodes.
It's like the first leak?
I watched all 4 episodes in one night, and then I had to wait like 3 weeks until the next episode after.
Dummy.
But we're the way we're structuring this, because we got some vacations coming up. We're putting some episodes in the can, so we're gonna be watching these a lot quicker than you guys are hearing us. So by the time you hear the episode. For episodes 3 and 4, I think it will be like 3 weeks after we actually recorded it. So you might want to be a part of the YouTube stream if you guys want to hear us discussing these at that time. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm glad we talked about a little bit, and we discussed the prequel, and we had a great conversation about season 5 in general. So I'm excited for moving forward. And anything else we want to say?
Let's wrap it up.
Any questions, any predictions, guys, for season 6?
What kind of terrorist is it going to be?
I mean, I guess. Do you guys want to predict?
No, you can't answer. No, I'm saying if it's because it was Russian, it's always either you said usually Middle Eastern, and then another thing, Russian, Mexican.
It's Middle Eastern.
Whatever.
It's
So I'm
Middle Eastern.
assuming it's Middle Eastern.
We are gonna see it.
Interesting. Yeah.
How about this? I'm gonna. You guys would have already seen this from the what's it called? From the prequel. But look what I'm sending you. I'm sending you guys a link. I just want to hear you guys' reaction to look at Jack Bauer in the new season.
He's so funny. Is he have long hair or something?
Oh, baby.
The first thing I said was, does he have long hair?
Loved it.
It's like
That's
Wolverine
I look
Jack
exactly
Bauer.
like this right now, actually. It's
Wolverine Jack Bauer.
Bad shape, huh? Bad shape.
Being locked up.
That's exactly how I look right now, honestly. But
all right, guys. Why don't you tell people where they can follow you on the internet?
I'm on the internet under @JustinBMoreno on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm on the internet at K_Verisize on Twitter and at K_Verisize on Instagram.
Follow me at Chuck, so that's SCHUCKSTR. You can follow the show at Legacy24. Email us at legacy24@gmail.com. Go to our website at legacy24.com and our Facebook at facebook.com to watch and talk. And that's it. I'm Dylan Chuck.
Well, I'm Justin Moreno.
And I'm Chrissy Verisize.
And we'll see you here in a couple days. All right.
That was long.
Dude,
Sorry,
2 hours.
2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I am so hungry. I have a headache.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye.
Talking to you. Bye.
See ya.